So what I want to do now is get that background colour into my other sides of the cereal box. So the back of the cereal box and the right hand side, the left hand side, and the top and the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of Tony the Tiger. I'm just going to throw him over to the other side of the screen. So just minimise and throw him over there. So what I can do very, very quickly is select the box that I've already worked out my gradient on and got the right fill colour, and I can just Command C and Command V, and I can place the same one over here. You can do that again, and you can make it smaller. You can bring it down in proportion and throw that into this area here. Try and make sure it lines up with the lines that are already there and that there are no white spaces. So I can throw another one over here, and then I've got the four sides, and now what I'm after is just the top and the bottom. So I can copy and paste again, and I can just make this a bit smaller and bring it over here. And I can just use my cursor to try and get it to match with what I already have there. Okay, if I use my white arrow at the top, I can use the part selection tool and double click on the anchor point, and what I should be able to do is actually drag the anchor point in to match the lines that I have. So if I double click on this anchor point and just use my trackpad and drag that in to match the red lines that are there. Okay, so I'm just going to try that again and straighten that up a little bit. Okay, so I can do the same at the top, copy and paste, and I can pop that there. Now I can use the arrange tool and I can rotate it, or I can just double click on my anchor points again and bring those to the place that I want them. You don't need to worry about any of the other folds or areas because they're all going to be glued and hidden. So there I've got my colours for the background of my cereal box. So now I want to think about the text. So I'm going to write the name of my cereal. Now obviously you've come up with your own name. So I can just write some text on the screen. And let's call these Frosties. Obviously that's too small, so I'm just going to make that bigger on the top toolbar and increase the size of my text. Now there are a number of things that you can do here. I can change the colour. So what I might want to do is go to my colour guide and I might want to change that to white. So to be able to see it, I'm going to need to drag it onto my blue background. Okay, there we go. Now that's quite difficult to see, so I might put a stroke on that. And I'm going to go into my swatch library and I'm going to choose kid stuff because I know that they're nice bright colours. So my library will appear on my page and I can just scroll down and I'm going to choose maybe a dark blue. That's my fill colour, and for my stroke colour I might go, so let's go back to my fill colour, white, and then my stroke colour, I'll go back to my library, open swatch library, I might go celebration this time and change my stroke colour. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that, and you can do a number of things here. Now you can either add your own 3D effect, so I can go to here and click 3D extrude and bevel, and then if I click preview in the bottom left hand corner it will immediately show me the effect. Now I can change a couple of the presets here and make it look a little bit better. 50 points I always think is a little bit too big, so I'm going to take that down to 17. Okay, and there's a number of things that you can do there by yourself. So I can keep that. If I go to Effect and I might want to stylize and do a drop shadow. So again, you can do your preview and it will show you the drop shadow. So that really shows up on that blue background, looks really good. I can change some of the presets if I want, but I'm quite happy with that. So I'm just going to click OK. Once you're happy with that, you can move it around the screen. You can tilt it to whichever angle you wish. And you can add more words if you're going to put a slogan or something else onto your cereal box. So I'm just going to put that in there. Now, something else that you can do, if you don't want to mess around with the effects yourself, you can type in your text and you can choose an effect. So if I select my text here, Frosties, and I can go down to graphic styles over here on the right hand side. Now at the moment I don't have any graphic styles, so I need to open up my library. So in this options button right on the corner, I'm going to go open graphic style library and I'm going to try 3D effects. That's going to open up an options bar for me. Now if you click through these, it will automatically apply that 3D effect to your writing for you. Now the only problem with this is that you cannot change any of the colors or the effects. So as it appears on the screen, that's exactly how it will appear and it can't be changed. So I quite like that one, that looks quite good, so I might just throw that onto my back cover. Now obviously you want to be matching your text front and back. I'm just showing you a number of different things. So I'm quite happy with that, so I'm just going to get rid of that effect there. Okay. Now what I need to do is insert a barcode, my Australia Made signs and things like that. So I'm going to go to File and Place. Now I've already looked on the internet and I've saved my Australia Made symbol, so I'm going to place that in there. Now that's a little bit too big, so hold Shift down to make sure that you can scale it in proportion. And actually I'm going to put that on the bottom because that's not that important, so I think I might put that on the bottom cover. Now you can also choose to change the effect on that picture. Now if I zoom in, okay, what you could do is you could put that into Photoshop as well and get rid of that white background because that doesn't look that great. What I could do here is I could image trace this and I could make it black and white, or I can change it to 16 colors, or I can change it to 3 colors. There's lots of different options there and you can simplify your image. Okay, what I'm going to do, I think I'll just leave it as the original because that looks quite good. So I'm going to zoom back out again, Command and minus, and I need to put my barcode in. So again, File and Place, and there's my barcode that I've saved as a JPEG. Okay, again, that looks a little bit too big, so hold Shift down and scale it down and put it on the surface. So that again is going to go onto my bottom cover. Okay, so that will scan easily if it was going through the supermarket till. Now my nutritional table, that normally would live on the side of the cereal packet, so I'm going to go File and find my nutritional table. Now we don't have a lot of room, but that is not too bad in size, so I'm just going to pop that there. Now what I might have underneath it is my ingredients list. Now you need to type your ingredients list. Okay, so you can use the text tool, and over here obviously that's a little bit too big at the moment, so I might change that to 9 and I could start typing in my ingredients. Okay, now obviously they need to fit into that surface, so I might need to just make that a little bit smaller. Okay, now normally you want to be able to read it but not too big that it looks out of place. Okay, so let's start typing my ingredients in there. Okay, now you can change the color of your text, highlight it, and again you can use your swatches, find your swatch library if it's not already there, and I could change it. Now I want to make sure that I can read it, so it needs to be a really good color on the background. Okay, now as you can see, this picture here is actually quite pixelated. It's not a good picture to put in, so you might want to find a much better quality image to get in there as your nutritional table. Okay. So my cereal box is starting to come together. You can use Photoshop again to get rid of the background for some images. You could possibly put a cereal bowl in there, a splash of milk, a picture of somebody eating your cereal, a slogan. On the back cover you might want to put a recipe that you might be able to make something else with your cereal. Lots of different ideas there. Once you've finished your cereal box, you need to make sure that you save it correctly. So File and Save As. Okay? And then what I'm going to do, it gives me the option here for two things. First of all, I want to save it as an AI file. So I'm going to type cereal, and then what I want you to do is put your name on it. So for example, I'm going to put Joe. So I've got an AI file there. I'm just going to save it onto my desktop and press save. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go press OK, sorry. I'm going to go File and Save again. Save As. And then I'm going to change it to a PDF file. So Cereal Joe again, but then it says PDF. So I'm going to save that to my desktop and press Save. Great. Okay, what you need to do now is your teacher will give you instructions, but you will either need to email it to your teacher or you will need to put it onto Haiku. So if you log onto your Year 8 Haiku page, there will be a Dropbox on there, and you need to drop in both files. So you need your AI file. Okay, there's a Dropbox here, Cereal Box Dropbox, and this one is for 803, so there'll be a number of other Dropboxes there for your class. Make sure you put it in the correct one. And you go to the Dropbox and you need to load up your two files, the AI file and the PDF file.